This is okay, recording. I just admitted Counselor Austin.
Thank you.
Greetings.
Greetings, sir.
How are you?
Mar, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Great. Time is now 5:30. I see we have Chief Worley online. Do we have our Mayor Brandon King online? How you doing, Chief?
Okay, so to speak. Yes, we have
That's good enough for me. Yes, that's good enough for me, Madam Law Director.
Thank you.
How you doing, Madam Law Director?
I'm great. How are you?
Blessed, can't complain, thank you.
Too blessed to be stressed.
Yes. Say hello. Okay. All right, we're gonna get started as soon as everyone want to let me know that they're ready. You wanna go to the store? Come on, go to the store, Mama. Madam Clerk, we have everything together.
Yes, about. I am
Okay, just take your time. Take your time.
almost there.
Take your time.
Okay.
Let's start, Mommy.
There we go. Admit them. Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
This is the City of East Cleveland Personnel and Appointments Committee meeting on Thursday, May 6, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. We have the chair, Ernest Smith, Counselor Ward 3. We also have Timothy Austin, Counselor at Large, member. Counselor Stevenson, are you present? We also have Counselor Martin, Counselor at Large, who is present. Counselor Smith, would you call the meeting to order?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. The City of East Cleveland Personnel and Appointments Committee meeting, agenda meeting is called to order at Thursday, May 6, 2021, 5:30 p.m. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Okay, Counselor Smith,
Present.
Counselor Austin,
Present.
Counselor Stevenson. Okay. We also have Counselor Martin, who is present. You present, Counselor Martin?
Present.
Thank you.
And
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Next, we have remarks from the public on agenda items only, 2 minutes. Any of our great public? Hearing none, we move on to discussion. As you know, the Personnel and Appointments Committee responsibility is to look at personnel in 9 city departments: finance, fire, HR, IT, police, law, building and housing, service, and community development. In November of 2020, Council reviewed department staffing needs in its budgetary hearings. What came out of those meetings are the fact that the city is short-staffed and relies upon outside professional services to fill many personnel and service needs to serve the people. For instance, fire uses law force to supplement its EMS billing needs. Finance uses ADP for payroll. Police uses BCI to assist in investigations. HR uses comp management to help with workers' compensation issues. Building and housing uses certified consultants for asbestos, surveys, etc. With this in mind, the Appointments Committee is committed to help the city maximize the limited resources that it has so that those resources can best be utilized to serve the people. On April 27, 2021, we were blessed to have a Personnel and Appointments Committee meeting. Today is we fast forward and sped up the date to our next Personnel and Appointments Committee meeting because we all felt it was two very important items that needed further discussion. With three. With that being said, the first one is a proposed legislation to adopt city council expenditures procedures. This was said at the last meeting that this was brought up by Councilwoman Juanita Gowdy. I would like to give her an opportunity to speak on this if she's available online. If not, we're going to move on to the ordinances. Madam Clerk, is Madam Gowdy joined? Has Madam Gowdy joined us?
Not yet, no.
Okay, well, we move on. Madam Clerk, can you read? We move on to resolutions, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 30-21, please.
Sure, resolution, this is an ordinance 30-21, an ordinance to amend section 123.08 of the East Cleveland Code. I'm sorry, let me start over. I had something blocking me. Ordinance number 30-21, an ordinance to amend section 123-08 of the East Cleveland Codified Ordinances to increase the applicant pool for fire and police chief positions and to give the city the ability to hire an outside applicant. This is requested by Brandon L. King, Mayor, and sponsored by Ernest Smith, Councilor Ward 3.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. As I recall, at our last meeting, we heard one side of, we heard from the fire chief, I should say. We also wanted to hear from the police chief and the mayor. We have Madam Law Director online. Madam Law Director, are you prepared this week to speak on behalf of the mayor on this subject?
I'm sorry, I'm not prepared. I think that the mayor would like to speak. It's just that I am not updated as to what he was going to speak on. So he did say something about no one's job currently is in jeopardy with reference to those positions, but he just wanted the city to have options in the future. And that's the gist of what I was able to get as far as information. If we could just, again, hold this in abeyance until, the mayor personally would be able to give some insight on this. I think that is the way to go at this point. If you don't mind, if that is your pleasure.
Yes, I wouldn't mind at all. I do want to hear from, I do understand. So, Madam Clerk, I would like to keep our regularly scheduled personnel and appointments meeting, I believe, for the 4th Tuesday of the month.
Yes, that's gonna be May 25th. May
Yes,
12th.
I would love to keep that date and table ordinance number 30-21 to again revisit it at that time.
Thank you for your consideration.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Would our great fire chief like to have any words this week?
No, sir. I have nothing really major to say. I'm like you. I'm really curious as to why the thought of this. For many years, fire service has not had any issues due to how management has always been done within the fire service. We don't cause any traffic issues. We don't have any issues with the public. In fact, we have a great rapport with the public. We don't get any complaints. So I am curious, like you, as to why this would even be a conversation, but I'm willing to hear what the mayor has to say.
Okay, thank you, Chief. All right. Open up to the floor to my colleagues, Councilman Austin.
Yes, sir. I talked to Chief Worley also, and I think in the last meeting I discussed how oftentimes we, bring in somebody with the right set of skills and just give them the opportunity for, the city to experience either new leadership or just giving the administration the option of hearing about what somebody else may bring to the table. This doesn't mean that, the person that is next in the chute to reach the highest level in fire and or police would be disqualified or not have the same opportunity to, show their skills, but it just provides a legal means by which the administration can hear from other candidates. That's it. So I don't know what the mayor's intent was and or is, but I'm not totally opposed to having the option of letting the administration hear from other candidates. That's all.
Thank you, Councilman Austin. Councilman Martin.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Austin. Councilman Martin, you have any word on this subject? On ordinance number 30-21?
Councilor Martin, are you
Councilman Martin,
there? I don't know, he may have gone out.
Okay. Well, we're gonna again, we're gonna keep this until the next, we're gonna keep this table until the next regularly scheduled personnel and appointments meeting on May 25th.
Yes.
Thank you. We can move on.
Okay, next we have ordinance number 31-21, an ordinance to amend section 28 of the East Cleveland Charter regarding the Civil Service Commission, in that the city of East Cleveland and its council members are being summoned to place this revision on the next available agenda for consideration and passage. Shall the Charter of East Cleveland require a revision of an ordinance to be placed on the ballot, the city shall comply for the consideration of the residents of the city of East Cleveland and declaring an emergency. This is requested by Councilor Juanita Gowdy, co-sponsored by Councilor Ernest Smith, Chair of Personnel and Appointments Committee.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to apologize to everyone. This is supposed to be a presentation for ordinance number 31-21. This is a committee meeting. I'm glad it's not a regular council meeting, but it's a committee meeting. But Madam Clerk, do we have our resident Cassandra McDonald online?
Yes, we do.
Okay, she's going to give a presentation on regarding this subject. And if it passes through council, it would go on the ballot to be voted on by the people of East Cleveland. It's a amendment amendment to the charter regarding the Civil Service Commission. Ms. McDonald, the floor is yours.
Okay, greetings everyone, and thank you for allowing me to do this brief presentation. I'm sure that by now you all have had the opportunity to review the legislation. So I think what I'm going to do is give a couple of quick summaries of why the legislation would be beneficial to the city of East Cleveland as a whole. This is for all staff that fall under the Civil Service Commission title, and not just specifically pointed at the police department, but again, for the civil service as a collective, and also to kind of streamline the way due process and policy and procedure is directed when it comes to the civil service commissioners. And then after that, I think if anyone has any questions, if I can clarify anything, I would be more than happy to do so. So the first thing in regards to wanting to change the, make the amendments to the city charter, I think it's important to kind of think about it from this perspective. One of the reasons is that a lot of times, in the majority of cases, municipalities have resorted to an arbitration process first when there are any disciplinary matters or agendas to be tried. And your civil service commissioners actually have the ability to hear these cases. And one of the things that the amendment would call for is that the civil service commissioners can also subpoena records so that they can do a better fact finding. And that way we can look at the due processes of law more, more cohesively to make sure that we are following those procedures, because what we don't want to happen is that without that checks and balances, we don't want the city becoming liable for missing a step. And let's say we decide to place an officer or a firefighter or anybody on leave, and we find out that we missed a step and they come back on, and that opens the door for a lot of different things. So I think that if the Civil Service Commission also has a say in that it would definitely help the city, especially since they look at, the hiring practices, termination, and so forth. Why not do that? So that would help with fact finding. And again, a lot of things can be resolved internally instead of having an, whether it's an outside arbitrator or somebody who doesn't specifically, do this on a regular basis. Another thing, I think that it makes for good law and policy procedure making, because again, the Civil Service Commission, works with a conglomerate of people. And one thing that I like about this proposal is that the City Council would have the opportunity to have a say in who the mayor would select to be appointed as a Civil Service Commission member. I think that is highly important. There are several cities that do this. This particular piece of legislation was also proposed in the city of Euclid, and it is set to go back to a committee hearing as well, and also possibly be placed on the ballot for voters to look at that. My research didn't just stop in Ohio. I kind of compared it to other municipalities across the states. And I find that this right here is a better way of doing things, because again, we want to make sure that as a city, as a municipality, that we are, dotting our I's and crossing our T's. And when it comes to the ability of, the authority of who gets to select who, I think it would be wise that the city council members work with the mayor's choice and then decide again as a whole if this person would be appropriate for the position. As it stands now, that does not occur with the current charter. And I know that the last meeting we had, Councilman Austin had wanted to look at, the resumes and do things like that, which was great. But honestly, without that in the charter, that did not have to occur. This way, it'll make sure that when those things are asked for, that actually gets to happen. And I want to also say that you know, in the long run, when you look at the history of what has been happening with the Civil Service Commission and, you know, the loopholes and things being forgotten, again, this offers more structure. I think it puts you in better, you know, in a parallel position to the state law. And again, it helps the city overall. I think this is a piece of legislation that you really can't go wrong because it's not solely dependent on one person to make all of the decisions. So, Councilman Smith.
Can't hear you, Counselor Smith.
My apologies. I said, thank you. Ms. McDonald said, they didn't want to have any, I said, Councilman Austin, first of all, do you have any questions or comments for Ms. McDonald?
I do. I just wanted to make sure that was understood correctly. We already have the, I guess, I don't want to call it the authority. We already have the option of assisting in selecting who's going to be on the Civil Service Commission. That's what we just got those resumes for. I think that I didn't necessarily want to see the resumes of those being, you know, promoted or policed and fired per se. I was looking at the resumes of those that are going to be on the Civil Service Commission. That's the resume I spoke of.
Right. So the resumes are, yeah. No, I'm sorry, go ahead. I thought you were finished. Go ahead.
Yeah. But like I say, I am happy to have our charter updated. However, I don't want to further encumber a process that's already in place and start usurping the authority of, you know, whoever might be sitting in the mayor's seat.
Okay.
Or some of the things that are gonna come up
Can
to
I ask
impact
you
us.
what part of the charter that you saw that the city council has the opportunity to decide the mayor's appointment? What part of the charter did you find that in?
So I don't know if you know that we are voting on legislation to accept the two persons that we have that were nominated for the Civil Service Commission.
No,
Those are
that's
two pieces of legislation that are already here on the agenda to be decided.
right. So those are two separate things.
Right. So maybe I misunderstood what you were talking about because
Oh, no problem. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
So you get to select who's there, but at the same time, those things aren't inherited in the charter. That's just pretty much there is not written. So this is what we don't want to do. Is something that's not written there can cause confusion. If it's not in the charter, it does not have to happen. Those things it's good that the process is going, but if it's not written in the charter at any time, it can be cut off and there's nothing anyone could do. So that's why it's important that the charter matches what you all are doing while in the position.
Right. And as I learn and grow, I know that all matters are not necessarily covered in our charter because the charter will never stop.
But here's
I want to see if we can go ahead.
Right. No, I understand, but when it comes to the Civil Service Commission and under statutory law of 124, that charter should be followed, especially when it comes to Civil Service Commission, because that is one reason why we have this issue that can be taken care of, but that's why it's there. There are certain things that has to be followed by, to the letter with the charter. There's other things that gives the inherent power to the municipality as being home rule. However, this is one that's not necessarily the way, for the simple fact that the state definitely set information in their language that says shall. So when you put this in there, again, this is something that is more, you can't go over what the state requires, but you want to be at least close to it, especially when it comes to the Civil Service Commission. Yeah, you're free if they want to give you a resume to look at it and you're picking, but again, it does not have to happen. And that's what we have to make sure of, is that everything is streamlined. You don't want too many things that are vague or ambiguous because it leads to confusion.
I don't like confusion. That's why I don't want to,
right,
necessarily,
mm-hmm. But
to
you will
make it so that somebody else who already has a process and or procedure
But-
effectively
but here's
in
the
place.
thing, you
If
will
it's
have to
terrible, let's
do
change
this.
it.
Right,
That's
but
my perspective. If it's
right.
terrible, let's change it. And, you know, let's not further encumber and or usurp authorities that are,
But
I
here's
guess,
the
the
thing, you're
state.
looking at right now. We have to be
Right.
proactive in our legislation. We're not being proactive. That's you're talking simply from the standpoint of what your body looks like right now. So you guys are on, this is how we do it. Now, let's say for instance, Mayor King does not win. A council member that's currently there does not win. Now you're bringing in this other person. This other person has the ideology just like it is. Well, it doesn't say that. So that's not what we're going to do. Now you're going to lead to that. We can't just look at it for what it is right now and look at it 5 to 10 years down the line.
Streets away.
Counselor Austin, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay,
Madam Clerk,
yes.
do you want me to read what the charter says? Currently?
No, we'll get to that.
Okay,
I'm
Hey,
looking
yeah,
dead
I
at
want
the
that was
right
my next question, if I can get the
speak.
law director's
But
input.
Councilman Austin was still talking.
oh,
No, no,
okay.
I'm pretty much wrapped up. I just want to see what the law director said as far as process and or procedure and impact.
Okay, do still talk. Okay, Madam Law Director, go ahead.
Oh, okay, section 28 of the charter says, in part, the mayor shall fill all vacancies by appointment for the unexpired term, subject to the approval and confirmation of the council.
Councilman Martin, you have any concerns, remarks?
I just admitted him back into the meeting.
Okay. Presenter Cassandra McDonald, would you like to remind any final words?
Absolutely, because like any law, there's only one paragraph to it. If you read down all the way to in section 28, there are variables that would make that that particular passage right there will defer. That's why when you look at the legislation that I presented, it also puts dates in there as far as 45 days when certain things should be done, and it gives more specifications on how it is. So as the law director knows, when you're looking at law or interpreting law, you have your titles, you have your paragraphs, you might have section 124.1, and then it has A, B, C, and each of them leads to something else that would make the beginning of what that is either gives more direction to it, more specifications to it, or it does a but for or shall or may. So you may have that section, but here we are again, that's saying it does not have a flow. So you don't have anything to say how long are these things supposed to go on? Because that's one of the problems already, where the Civil Service Commission went years and years and years without things being done. So as you read that and put that in there, when I also outline underneath the new legislation, it sets out even more so how to continue it on, but again, make it more cohesive and make it more where there's a direct way to do it. You don't want to take something and drag it on, and especially when it comes to not even dragging it on, but again, the process and the flow, so that things can be taken care of in an orderly fashion. He shall appoint, yeah, but how long are we taking? Are we going to take, what are we doing? We don't want to get back to this point. If there are things in which there should be a disciplinary or hiring, whatever the case may be, there's an investigation. You don't have that they can subpoena. You don't have that things should be done in 30 or 45 days. You don't have specifics, and that's all I'm getting to. So again, I don't want to make this a match against the wits. This is specifically legislation. Let us come together and say, okay, we should put that in there, or we should take that out, or that will do. But the way that it's looking now, and without specific things to place with it, again, it's not tight enough. And that's my whole goal. Can we get it where it's tighter and it gives a little bit more direction, and there's not so many things to guess about as this is read on?
Okay. Thank you. Madam Clerk, did you say Councilman Martin is back? I want to give all of my colleagues a chance to respond.
Counselor Martin, are you there? He was, I admitted him twice. He was out and then he came back and then he came back again. So I don't
Okay.
know if it seems like he's having a little technical difficulty here.
Okay. So I have to stick with the rules. So Councilman Austin, do we have a consensus or am I having a sense that you want to keep this here for further discussion? Or do we have a consensus to move on?
I think we could give the mayor an opportunity to, have his word and make sure that we are clear on the left and right limits, so we can have a united front going forward, so that if there is a specific action and or plan for the Civil Service Commission handling and length of tour and or how their influence might provide the benefit we're looking for, then I'd like to hear that before we move it forward. Although we do have some opportunities, yeah, we can go ahead and move it out of committee and move it forward, because we do have a couple of weeks to vote it up and vote it down and get our Civil Service Commission up like it should be. So I guess we can move it forward.
Okay, I have no problem either way. Just okay, I just wanted to get the consensus. Just wanted to stick with as we say, the policy and procedure. It is very, the proposed language is very, the revised language is very, very detailed, and just want to have some time for everyone to go over it, and as you say, have a clear mind, and also get the mayor a chance to respond. As Ms. McDonald said, as she pointed out, it's a couple things such as sending the resumes that's not down here in black and white. So I guess I need to rethink the mayor for that. But if we could make sure that happens in the future, we have a lot to think about. We have more than just us in these seats to think about. We have to think about the future. So with that being said, with the consensus of my colleague, Madam Clerk, we can move this to the next agenda review meeting. With that being said, I'm very disappointed that we haven't had any agenda review meetings. Madam Clerk, if the agenda review meetings are going to keep being canceled, then I want to keep this in Personnel and Appointments Committee so we can keep discussing it, because without agenda review meetings, then we can't discuss it. I really want this on the record. I'm very, very disappointed that we haven't been having agenda review meetings. So we can move this forward to the agenda review meeting. If the next agenda review meeting is getting canceled, I would like to discuss this matter on the next Personnel and Appointments meeting, which is May 25th.
Okay, because I do not have
Council Austin,
any scheduled agenda review meetings in the near future.
Okay, so back to my colleague, Councilman Austin. With that being said,
I am in 100% agreement with the need for the agenda review to discuss some of these matters in greater detail, so the understanding is clear. So at the council meeting, we don't have the stalemate we've been having lately because somebody did not understand a piece of legislation we should have thoroughly reviewed and or discussed. I support 100%. So this would quickly return to this committee in the event that there's no agenda review to respectfully iron out the kinks. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Madam Clerk,
Yes.
since there's no agenda, since there's sadly no agenda review meeting scheduled, can you please schedule this for another discussion on May 25th? All minds on this meeting see that it would have been moved to the agenda review meeting. I don't know what's going on with our agenda review meetings, but it's really holding up progress. So, Madam Clerk, please put this on the agenda for May 25th.
Okay.
Thank you. Next, we have remarks from the public. 3 minutes, please. Hearing no remarks, we move to remarks of my colleagues, Councilman Austin.
Well, again, thank you very much, Councilor Smith, for a phenomenal, well taken care of meeting. We appreciate you and all you do. The information before us is very important. And I want to thank our presenter for coming forth and being such a staunch supporter of where we like to go as a city. So, so my hat is off to you, literally and figuratively. I thank you for coming out to take care of us and caring enough. And thank you for your willingness to answer the tough questions today, so we can obviously get more informed and do the things that we know we should do as legislators. So again, thank you. And to all that logged on today, our residents and or our, I guess, staff, respectfully, we appreciate you. And again, thank you, Councilor Smith. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman. Madam Law Director, you have any final words on behalf of the administration?
Not at this time. Thank you for asking, though.
Thank you, Madam Law Director. On behalf of my colleagues, on behalf of our clerks, the administration, our great fire chief, police chief, all of our great directors, to the people of East Cleveland, we thank you for joining us tonight at committee meeting. As I say, each and every meeting, the committee meetings are very, very, and just as important as the regular council meeting. As you can see, this is where we have the breakdowns, where we do a lot of presentations and really get to the nitty gritty right here in the committee meetings. I want to really thank our resident, our presenter, Ms. Cassandra McDonald. There's a lot of residents out there with love in their heart, and I love when they come to the meetings to show it. So we're going to take a look at this again on May 25th. And when I say this, we mean ordinance number 30-21 and ordinance number 31-21 to be considered for the health, interest, rights, and needs of the people. With that being said, the Personnel and Appointments Committee meeting is adjourned at 6:07 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you.
We have the same link for the Contracts and Properties Committee meeting, which will start at 6:30. So I am going to stop recording, but I will leave this this Zoom platform open.
Thank you.
You're welcome.